A lot of people here are. You know what this feels like. Parents, you are not alone. That lonely feeling when you're looking for an answer and raising a child. And Rona Renner is here right now. She is a registered nurse, and she has a radio show on KISS and FM, and it's nice to see you again, Rona.
Really nice to see you.
And you have been doing the show for 4 years now, right?
We're going into our 5th year. It's amazing.
Yeah, and people call in and say, "Help, Rona, my child is eating too much sugar," or whatever it happens to be.
You know, we cover so many subjects like asthma, divorce, eating, sleeping, and you know what's interesting, Jack, is that we have experts, but what I love is the parents. I love that parents call in not only with questions, but with their wisdom.
Yeah, I've learned this kind of thing.
I've learned this.
As you and I were saying a couple of minutes before we started, as a parent, you're always learning. I don't care how many children you have, you're always learning something.
And I'm amazed how often I still, scratch my head and say, God, I wonder what to do. And I think that's important for parents to know, that you don't have to know all the answers. But it's really helpful to know that there are resources out there, and that if you stop and reflect on what's going on and say, what does my child need? It's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
What's going on? What's my child's temperament? You have a bunch of kids, and they're all different. Eight kids, and they're all very different.
Yeah.
And parents sometimes give the same discipline, the same advice to the kids when they need to change it, depending on a child's temperament.
Yeah. Well, Rona, I've always felt we don't own them, number one, and we have to take our time in dealing with each personality, because as you point out quite correctly, personalities are different, just like we're different. Everyone in the studio is different. But people call in with things like, I would imagine a parent might call in and say, my husband and I are getting a divorce, or my wife and I are getting a divorce, and our children are very upset, and we're trying to make it best for the kids. What do you tell them? Can you answer those questions on the radio?
We absolutely do. And one of the things to start with always is being accepting that this is a challenging situation. In the past, some parents have told me they've pretended everything's okay and they haven't wanted to say anything to the kids. But children are very perceptive. Even, your 2-year-old, your 3-year-old, and they pick up on the fact that there's a problem.
Absolutely.
So I always start off by saying you need to realize that your children know a lot about what's going on. And then how do you talk to them so that you don't put too much information on them so they don't feel responsible, but you acknowledge that they're feeling scared, angry, sad, confused. And when it comes to divorce, one key thing to do is make sure you help them see that their life is still going to have some order. They're still going to go to school. Mommy and Daddy will always love them, even though they'll be in separate houses. But accept the fact that the children are not going to be happy. Yeah,
they're not going to be happy.
They're not going to be happy.
And a breakup like that, what you point out, I think, is one of the most important things in raising children. Not that I'm a child expert, don't get me wrong, but they do pick up everything. In other words, if you and your wife, or your wife and husband, are having a disagreement, and you go in the other room and they can hear the tone of voice without even knowing the words, already it's affecting them.
And I say, for the new year, in terms of resolutions, a lot of parents say, I want to yell less. And I think that's great. And what you can do is realize that you can't always control your feelings, but what you can do is make some kind of agreement that you're going to do your very best not to be fighting in front of the kids, and that you're going to try and say, we need to talk about this at another time, because kids do get scared, but we're not perfect. So parents, kiss your hand, say I'm good, and then do your best to say, how can I be adult and try and control my impulses?
And keep them feeling as secure as you can.
As secure as you can.
Okay, Sunday mornings, 9 to 10 a.m. on KISS FM, KISS 98.1, Rona Renner. Thanks for being here, Rona.
Thank you, Jack. Every time we start,